Alright guys, this is not technically a video with any answers. This is just more so a discussion. Maybe if I think of an idea as the video is going on, I'll present it. I put up a short the other day about Ezra Miller being arrested again. 2 weeks, 2 arrests in Hawaii. This is not the first time he's been arrested, of course. As we know, he's been arrested multiple times, or at least in trouble with the law. And like I said in my short, I didn't want to make a video about him being arrested, and this isn't necessarily a video about him being arrested. It's more so the implications of what his arrest could mean, and it's the implications on the DC universe. It's late at night. I'm really tired, but I had to get this off my chest because I'm just curious, what's the deal here? The Flash film was clearly supposed to be the jumpstart of a new universe, I guess. We were going to be going down a different path and exploring a different story in a new world. The Flash film, in a lot of ways, was the key to the future of the DCEU. And I really don't know if you can use that film as the future anymore, especially when your main actor is going off the rails, continues to go off the rails, that is, and completely just ruins his image and taints any sort of brand he is related to for DC Comics. Now, before I maybe present some options on what they could do, I want to quickly go through a list here of upcoming DC films, and I want to see where we're sitting at currently. Now, of course, keep in mind, a lot of these movies have been delayed or pushed back a little bit due to specific reshoots or editing or story changes that we may not know of at the moment, and that obviously comes from the merger with Discovery. So to start, we're supposed to be having Black Adam, October 21st of 2022. Shazam 2, Fury of the Gods, December 16th, 2022. Now, that movie was actually supposed to be next year, but I guess it's ahead of schedule. So, I mean, DC needs something released now, and by now I mean this year, so that works in their favor. Then you have Batgirl, which is apparently supposed to be late 2022. Aquaman 2, The Lost Kingdom, is March 17th of 2023. Then you have The Flash, which is supposed to be June 23rd, 2023. And then to move forward into the future, we're supposed to be getting Wonder Woman 3, a Zatanna film, and Blue Beetle, which casting is already underway and is more than likely entering pre-production very, very soon. Now, there are more than likely other films that are going to be coming out or going to be getting announced that we just don't know of yet. But I can't help but think, is the Flash film still being perceived as the key piece of the DC universe? The Flash is changing history in many different ways. And I've said many times in my videos that this film is absolutely cursed. Anywhere from production, pre-production, writing stages, hiring the right director, finding the perfect release date, and of course the head actor in Ezra Miller, who just can't seem to maintain himself. If the Flash is supposed to be your key player, if the Flash is supposed to be the signature of where your universe is going to move forward, how do you handle this? I've stated before that I would not be surprised if this movie never drops. And I think with Ezra Miller's behavior and with what we've seen from this film, you have a good reason to be one of those people if you believe that it's not going to be coming out. But see, what happens if the Flash film does not release? What now happens to, say, for example, Batgirl? The main reason that Batgirl film is actually happening is because of the Flash film. The Flash film changes the future. It changes the timeline and it changes the dimension we're technically watching. And that dimension has Barbara Gordon becoming or acting already as Batgirl, not with Ben Affleck's Batman, but Michael Keaton's Batman. And Michael Keaton's Batman is reintroduced in the Flash movie. So what happens if you don't release the Flash film? Well, now you get a Batgirl movie with the reintroduction of Michael Keaton's Batman with absolutely no understanding on how this is even happening in the first place. Let's entertain the idea for a second that the Flash film never gets released. How can you now release the Batgirl movie? How would that make any sense at all? If you're going to have to sacrifice one project, then you're going to have to sacrifice the second as well. See, on the one hand, it might be a good idea to keep the film coming, even if that means the film is another 3 years away. It might be beneficial just to drop the movie. You think about it, you put a lot of time, resources, and manpower into this film, and if you just don't release that movie, well, you're going to lose out on a lot of money. But how do you handle it, right? Because when you release this movie, there's going to be a lot of backlash towards it because of Ezra Miller. Everyone has their own specific reasons into seeing movies. You know, for example, let's just take The Batman. Well, some people just believed it's DC, and I'm a fan of DC, I gotta see the new Batman film. Some people, like myself, you know, I absolutely love Batman, and I would do anything to see a Batman movie. Other people think to themselves, like, I'm a casual comic book watcher, and that's a comic book movie, I gotta go check it out. Everyone's got different reasons on why they watch a comic book film, and the same thing has to go towards the Flash film. Well, you got the older heads out there who are thinking, I want to see Michael Keaton again. Well, that's what they're going to go watch that movie for. Maybe other people are thinking, man, I have never seen Supergirl in a live action film. I would love to see what they do with Supergirl. So those people go and watch this movie. Maybe some people are thinking to themselves, I don't just like Ezra Miller, but I love the Flash. I want to support this movie. I need to go see it. So that's what they would go see it for. So what do you do now when you lose those people? Because those people might not want to see this movie anymore with how Ezra Miller treats his reputation, treats the people around him. I mean, getting arrested is not a pretty sign, guys. Many people won't want to support this movie simply because of his involvement. It's a really, really, really shitty situation. And I do feel bad for the people who have to work on these projects because they must think to themselves like, Ezra, man, get your head out of your ass. What are you doing? And now, more than likely, I can only assume that Ezra is done as the Flash. I don't think he'll be doing any more projects as the Flash ever again. And we might even need to start questioning his actual acting career too. The Flash film was already an issue, you know, specific people who have maybe read the script or the plot leaks at least. All of the things we've been hearing about the film, and they haven't been debunked, they've tended to be quite true. And it seems like the consensus of this film was either going to go one of two ways. Either a big majority of us were just not going to like it and not like the direction they were going to go in, or the second option was simply just going to be, it was okay. And then when you start looking at the other films, like for example, Black Adam, Shazam, Aquaman, so on, what do those films technically do for the DC universe in the way of what the Flash film was going to do for the DC universe? Because like I keep saying, it was supposed to be this new timeline they were going to venture into and start building worlds off. I'm sure these other DC movies aren't focusing too heavily on that at all. And let's not pretend like a lot of us aren't thinking about this actress right now too. It's not just Ezra Miller who's making a terrible name for himself right now. Let's also take into consideration Amber Heard. What are they going to do with the Mara character in Aquaman 2? Are they going to recast her? Are they editing her out? Which is something I heard, by the way. It's a loose rumor, but I mean, take it with a grain of salt. Who knows, especially with the trial of Johnny Depp right now. But when it comes to actors and actresses, and it's a messy situation over in DC right now. It's not looking pretty. And you might be thinking to yourself like, yeah, okay, well, it's just two people. Two people is too much, in my opinion. Number one, yeah, Amber Heard is one you can just simply get rid of. At least she's not playing an A-class member of the DC universe. She's playing Mara, which in her own right is an A-class member of DC universe towards the Aquaman world, but is more so a B-class character in the wider DC universe anyways. The issue with Ezra Miller is the simple fact that he was supposed to be the face of the DCEU. He was supposed to be one of the biggest parts of this universe, and he is squandering it day by day. So what are the directions that they have? What are some of the options they could do? Well, I've already discussed one of just never releasing the movie, which would ultimately mean that you lose out on a lot of money, but you also lose out on a story that I think a lot of us weren't gonna like anyways. I mean, I haven't seen the film, none of us have really seen the film. Who knows? It's just a gut feeling out of the things I've heard, and it is absolutely a movie I have no hope for at all, especially with how cursed it is. I just released a video the other day about how the DCAU could potentially be the blueprint for the DCEU. Maybe they just start from scratch and they start a brand new universe and develop it the way the DCAU was developed. I got some very good feedback from that video. Most of the feedback I got was from people who say they love the DCAU, and most people said that they would be interested in seeing a live-action DC universe set up and built the way the animated universe was built. And I think it would be a great idea too. I think it would be a great starting point, and you already have, like I said, a great blueprint to follow from. Or option number 3, we could simply look at all of these movies as if they are just Elseworld stories. They are all stories being told in the DC universe, but they all take place in their own dimensions, their own timelines, and there may be some loose Easter eggs and connection from movie to movie, but nothing solidified that can tie these movies in together, and I think you just simply leave it at that. So yes, you still get the Black Adam film, the Shazam film, the upcoming Blue Beetle and Wonder Woman 3, and whatever other movie they got coming out, but treat it like Elseworlds, in the sense that they're just stories about popular DC characters, and when those stories are done, you just wait to see if they maybe get a sequel or a third film, or maybe if they're popular enough, they'll find a way to tie it in with a specific character from another movie, whatever that may be. I just think it's very messy right now to be playing around with Ezra Miller's Flash and that Flash movie. I think there's just too much negativity coming from that film and that actor. I really don't know how you save it. There is no way that Discovery moved into Warner Brothers and is looking at this entire situation right now and thinking to themselves, we'll fix this. They gotta be thinking in themselves, what a mess. Like, this company is not just a mess, but the actors and actresses they got, it's a mess. The movies they've been building make absolutely no sense. Where are they going with this? Maybe this DC overhaul is the right move. Maybe David Zaslav and Discovery do have the right idea by just simply overhauling the entertainment section. I swear, guys, it's like when you're a deep DC fan like I am, and like anyone who is subscribed to me or who watches me, it's a pain in the ass. It's like 1 minute something so great is going on for the DC universe. You know, we have like this really great hope in Discovery that things will change. And then all of a sudden you start hearing bullshit once again on Ezra Miller acting like a complete moron. Having him as the future poster boy of the DC universe clearly isn't working. So this is truly Discovery's opportunity to get the priorities straight. The question is where will the priorities lie? And I think what makes this entire situation so complicating is the unknown. It is just simply, what are they doing with these projects? If this keeps continuing, if this Flash movie gets delayed over and over, and Ezra Miller loses his job, and whatever else might be happening behind the scenes, I mean, are they just going to recast the Flash? Are they going to release the Flash movie and essentially just say, look, whatever revenue we can get back, we'll take? And then when the movie is done, we gotta recast them. Being a DC fan of the film world is like this. It's just the most uncomfortable roller coaster you'll ever be on. Because there are things to love about this universe. There are things to hate about this universe. There are things you can like and dislike. There are things to be confused about. It's just... This was simply just a video to get my frustrations out, because it is crazy how one man's stupid decisions can honestly change the course of a universe that Discovery is now in charge in, and it just makes things much more complicated than they already were, as if that's what we need right now from this world. Do you never release this movie? Do you release this movie and recast him? Do you treat the DCEU like an Elseworlds story where no one really combines with one another? Do you start to reboot slowly and create a DCEU out of the DCAU blueprint? Or is there another way to solve all of these problems that I'm not thinking of, and maybe one of you has an answer or an idea for it? And that is what I would love for you guys to post down in the comments below. If you have any ideas yourself with what you would change about the situation at hand right now, or if there's any way you think you could solve the situation, if there's any ideas that you might have, I'd love to hear them. Well, I guess that's it for this rant video. I mean, I wouldn't even call it a rant, it's just more so frustration and annoyance. That's what this video is all about, is the annoyance and frustration of Ezra Miller's actions. Amber Heard too, you are not excluded from this conversation. And just the fact that, you know, it feels like whenever we get some great news about DC, it's always followed up with some bullshit news, and it's just so annoying. But anyways, everyone, that is it for this video. So until next time, I will talk to you all very soon.